during the Mesopotamian time, majority of the world was paganism religion, and that disappeared with the Roman Empire, where Christianity was brought in. And these walk-ins were taught by that 33-degree strand how to renew and bring in these walk-ins each time so they can live on. This book leans into very detailed specifics how they escape karma. For example, the Washington City, where the tetrahedron is placed in the middle of Washington, and the US Capitol, Washington building, and all the Pentagon buildings are placed on the tip of the tetrahedrons, the 4 tetrahedrons that make up the unicursal hexagram. Again, I explained this in the book, and I will place this on the screen for you to see. Each corner feeds this grid to escape karma. Now back to the walk-ins. Why are they doing this? Each and every war that has happened in this world has not been for money. This is where researchers get it wrong. They call it the Babylonian money system. It has nothing to do with money. The only reason, and one reason only, why they conduct wars around the world is to create blood sacrifice significant enough to bring in a new walk-in. Only, and only for that reason. Now I'd like to show you a calculation and prove you that this is the shocking truth why wars around the world are conducted, and as well other grid systems such as constant meat market that feeds this. It's never ending, and this is part of the message. This is part of the message. Now, I'm a pagan and I understand these things. Screen, and I will go through it with you now. In paganism, as explained in previous chapters, once the human strand showed the archon and the archon Draco walk-ins how to integrate the 5 main elements of earth into escaping karma and creating change, then this was integrated into events as well. Earth, fire, water, air, and ether, quintessence, were integrated into all historical events. Events to renew or bring in walk-ins. Each time there has been a war, an old or new walk-in has been brought in. These elements were turned upside down in their case, not designed by Satan, to be discussed in great detail. The first event I explained from the beginning, where 2003 there was a great activation in the world, energies were coming in, and the Archon Draco in a meditative state understood that they were in great danger. So they had to bring the frequency and energy levels to all-time low on Earth. The first event for that then was 11th September 2001. 1 + 1 + 9 + 2 + 0 + 0 + 1. Holy 14, that is equivalent to 5. Martin Luther King was killed on the 4th of 4th, 1968. He was a dangerous character, very dangerous character to bring on change, similarly to John F. Kennedy. But Martin Luther King's death was organized, and that date as well is equivalent to number 5 again. World War I and World War II. World War II was on the 1st of September 1939, which adds up to 32. Number 5. Winston Churchill declared war on Germany after its attack on Poland 2 days later. World War I, 28th of July 1914, 32. That is equivalent to 5. Now, United States Independence Date, the 4th of July, 1776. Again, equivalent to 32. Number 5. Isn't this shocking for you to hear that these dates are coming up to number 5? Isn't it shocking for you to see and hear that all these dates are coming up to number 5? Moving on. Now, luckily, the warrior soul consciousness has understood that something very evil has been going on for many, many millenniums, and they started to send in soul signatures that started to counterfeit these acts. One of the positive events was the United States Constitution legal and official activation date, which was the 4th of March and 1789. And that is 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, 32 again, and adds up to number 5. Negative event followed for this immediately. The Archon Dracos knew what they were doing, so they counterfeited again with a negative event. Formation of the Mason Lodge at Corporation of London, 1776, which declared the London area the headquarters of these Archon Dracos and the Archon rule. They built this building that is in Holborn area in London, 1776, and the opening date was 23rd of May, and the ceremony was 24th of May, early hours in the morning. So that adds up 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 equals 32, which is 5. 160 female participants and 400 brethrens on the 24th of May, early morning hours, conducted the ceremony as well, in the respect for walk-ins, and they brought in a new walk-in. Things get more shocking here as well, because World War I and World War II, but then they formatted the 509 composite group. This was created for the Hiroshima, Japan attack, the little boy and fat man atomic bombs, announces attack on the 4th of August, 1945, and loads bombs on the 5th. Bombs were loaded on the 5th. Bombs loaded but a day late. And then 5 plus 9 is 14. And that is a 5, the composite group. And the date adds up to 5 as well, which is 5 plus 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 5, 32 and 5. The bombing happened US time on the 5th, an opportunity to create the 555, which is the message today to you that is going to be created this year. The 555 is coming up. Now, ship Estonia, again, another walk-in ceremony to bring in a new walk-in. They need large amounts of human sacrifices to bring in a walk-in entity. This happened on the 27th of September, 1994. It departed from Tallinn. It adds up to 5 again, 41 and 5. The ship was declared, it sank on the 28th of September 1994 at 55 minutes past midnight and between 2-3 a.m. And this is in Wikipedia, so they have even declared the sinking time just to create another 555. This is how sick these people are, and this is how ritualistic and precise they are. They operate on energies and dates and numerology. And this is not a joke. If you go online to the public documentation, you will see that the ship was declared sank at 55 past midnight and between 2 a.m. 03. This is how sick they are. Now, the other event is WHO Agenda 2021. What a surprise. That is a 5 again. And then switching on the 5G, which was happening this March in Estonia, it is switched on here. And I can tell you, I can feel it. And it's extremely, extremely detrimental. And that is as well a 5 connection with their overlords, the one god, the archons, because the archon Draco walk-ins are as well slaves, and all the human servants that work for them around the world. These are royalty. These are high up billionaires, corporation people. They are all slaves to these walk-ins who are serving their archon overlords in energetic form. Please see this image. This is the European Archon headquarters, 1776, London Mason Hall, Holborn. Above main entry door, 2 large half-covered globes with heavy nets over them. This is the grid system that they have us in, and this is in Holborn, all for you to see. This has nothing to do with Satanism. This is far more dangerous. This is AI, and they have been working on this and planning it for thousands of years since Mesopotamian time. Now, the next event, which is the bottom line of this video, will be coming this May of 5th, which will be 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 will be the 555. The 555, but this won't happen on the 5th of May. Similarly to 2001, this will happen then, few months after, because time and space operates in a specific way. It kicks in later. They conduct the ritual on the 5th of May, 2021, but they need the sacrifices to happen a few months later. So I am predicting that this will happen around August, July, or September again. And there is the pi that is connected to Egypt. Now, pi is made up of 6-digit configuration, which is 3.14159, which adds up to 23. And again, that is 5. And that all goes back to Egyptian times and how they are escaping this karma to conduct these wars on our name and to keep the ball rolling on their court side. Now let this settle in. Why nobody has been talking about this? Nobody has spoken about these. Nothing is a coincidence. These wars are conducted for these rituals. And now the next Agenda 2030. I have a master's degree in WHO leadership policies. Their deadline is up till 2030. They don't have a lot of time. So they have gone all out. They are wiping out events in the Akashic record. And that is why time is speeding up, because the universal law is trying to heal the time fabric and restore the positive events that they keep wiping out and deleting. So that is why synchronicities are happening faster. That is why people are sensing that time is speeding up and it moves a lot faster. But lately they have now slowed down the time because they need to buy time. They don't have a lot of time. So now lately people are feeling that there is more time again because they stopped deleting the events from the past. The time slowing down now is on their benefiting them, and they understand that they only have till Agenda 2030 to complete their wave and bring in all the walk-ins that they wanted, even though there's not many. They just want to renew them and come up with a plan how to restore these walk-ins and completely hypnotize the general public. According to my calculation, these real authentic people, out of the 100% of occupying occupants on planet Earth, I talk about everything, how many extraterrestrials, who are they, where they work in political regimes. There is about 15% of real humans living the truth and living how we should be to escape this karmic wheel, the hamster wheel. And we just need another 15% to get that 30% going. We don't need everybody on board. We don't need everybody on board. We just need 30 solid percent. Because there is no 100% anymore. There is a lot of confusion and a lot of ghost humans around that look like human, but they are actually not human. Why is this all happening? The pandemic happened last year. On 20th March, it was declared lockdown, and hundreds of thousands of people were killed off with new form antibiotics that was causing sepsis. Another, again, walk-in ritual that happened. Perfect timing, and it was clearly a blood sacrifice again, adding up to the number 5, 20th March 2020, okay? It added up to as well a 9, which will lead them into graduation. So we're dealing with change, 5 leading into the number 9, into graduation, 666, which adds up to 18, and that is 9. And it's not a bad number, but for them, this means graduation. Change will lead into graduation. 5 plus 9, 14, 5. Now, the pandemic has been created against humanity, and it's been labeled as COVID-19. But COVID is a corona, and there has been many coronas, many diseases in public health. But this one has been called COVID, which means coronavirus disease, and 19. 19 adds up to 10, which means God's rule over Earth. They have declared war against humanity. Us, humanity, we came here a long time ago. We came here a long time ago, and we were living on the other side of the planet in North Pole, Antarctica area, which is a very controversial area. And humans came from a constellation C and Corona Borealis, and the very controversial T Borealis that exploded and created a spectacular that everybody's studying, and Alphecca, the North Star that the Khufu and Great Pyramids around the world, new and old structures, hidden structures as well, are pointing towards this Corona Borealis constellation Alphecca. So they have declared war against us. This is where humans came from. They have declared war against us to kill off Corona, COVID-19, eliminate humans, 1 plus 9, God's rule over Earth. Now, there is a solution to all of this. I'd like to propose it to you. If you can help me, you have a large followership. It's time to get out of fear. It's time to start speaking the truth. I have lost a lot of followers because of speaking this truth. I frankly don't care, because we are living in a simulation where we're forming a micro and macro reality. They say that our own personal reality is the most important, that this is how you can escape the hamster wheel. It is true, by the way. And I actually am already living on the other side, speaking to you from that point of reality. There is a reason why I have been living 6 months isolated in the woods, away from humans, drinking clean, purified water. I have been blessed. I haven't had to wear a mask. I'm not part of that reality. But I want to explain to you the solution, how to get to that reality. And it does require collective unity. This is not the solution, me living here forever like this, but at least I have been able to concentrate and focus how to bring a resolution. There is a solution. They are operating on magic base. When you cut their cords, you cut off their power. And unfortunately, we're living in times where we need to look at ourselves and take responsibility for the thousands of years of slaughter that we have caused and pain and suffering. There is a solution. It doesn't need to be a long-term thing, but at least the practice of few weeks. People are not going to like listening to the solution. These walk-ins and the human servants serving them on all different degrees, all the way to the councils and the police and the nurses, these are all human servants to the walk-ins and to the different degree Masons and religious sectors. They're all feeding one source. Now, please hear me out. We need to start taking responsibility. I understand that they have started to tell us what to do, what to eat and everything, but we have to make these decisions from an authentic place. If we start gathering people more on board, there's 15% currently globally, and we get another 15% with your help, with your followers, we can reach this figure and get the 30%. And then we can move into the shift and create political changes. I promise you, when we take responsibility and start understanding the hamster wheel karmic trap that we are trapped in, you will see political changes start taking place. I promise you this. I promise you, I guarantee you on my forthcomer's name. If we get 30% to come together and start taking responsibility of the blood sacrifices that we have caused, it doesn't need to be long-term, few weeks, and you will notice that the mandatory testing, vaccine, everything will start to disappear. If we just come together, take responsibility and understand the blood sacrifices that we have caused in the mass slaughter. And yes, you know what I'm talking about. I have lost a lot of followers because of this. I'm talking about the animal slaughterhouses that are built on ley lines. This is the machine in the background silently working. We need to do a detox collectively. We need to do a detox. We have to come together and understand that we can't feed the magic that they got us entangled in. They're magic based. If you cut the cord, if you cut their cords, their magic is gone. They are powerless because they need the blood sacrifice that we and our children are engaging in constantly without knowing. Nobody is being blamed here. This is the sad fact. It is all energetics. As you saw, they are working on the 5 elements constantly, 365 days a year. 3 plus 6 plus 5 is 14. The Mintara sacrifice constantly keeping us in that hamster wheel. We need to gather on top of the 15% with your help, another 15% to get a solid 30% globally to start making karmic, decisive, conscious changes and to withdraw for few weeks. You will see political changes start to take place in your nation. They have a very close eye on these statistics because they are magic based. Never forget that. They are magic and energy based Kabbalah, negative Kabbalah, not the positive Kabbalah that is actually helping, but the negative Kabbalah is working over time to keep us in that hamster wheel.